Hi there, this is Lee McQueen, and I'm speaking again on public affairs of the day. And I'm following Jill Stein of the Green Party because I believe that this is the party of the future, and that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, are the parties of the past. And so I'm very interested in seeing what the Green Party is up to and the progress they're making for progressives in the political scene. And so I'm paying attention, and I noted that Hillary Clinton spoke to the NAACP. Hillary Clinton was invited to speak to the NAACP at their convention, which is in Cleveland. And then also Donald Trump was invited to speak to the NAACP at their convention. And Hillary Clinton accepted the invitation and Donald Trump declined. And so Jill Stein, who is the presumed presidential nominee of the Green Party, sent a letter to the NAACP saying that she would be willing to stand in that spot that was not filled by Donald Trump, and then also speak before and to the NAACP at their convention. And the NAACP declined. And so in the news, we hear all about how Donald Trump turned down their invitation and how bad that was. But we don't really hear a lot about the fact that Jill Stein offered to also speak, and the NAACP turned her down. And so what does that mean? What it means to me is that the NAACP are pets to the Clinton campaign, that this was all about Hillary Clinton and no one else. That someone like Jill Stein, who has spoken out on issues like racial justice, economic justice, specifically Black Lives Matter, specifically mass incarceration and into the drug war, many things that are relevant and important to the Black community, the African American community, communities of color, they didn't want to hear what she had to say, even from a progressive platform. If it wasn't Hillary Clinton talking, apparently the NAACP doesn't want to hear it. And so these are the people who are acting as gatekeepers to the Black community. And so let's see if we can figure it out, what is really going on here. Hillary Clinton spoke to the NAACP, and she said things like, Donald Trump is bad and I'm good, and things that you would expect her to say. She said also that in terms of recent police violence against members of the Black community, she said, well, they'll under my administration they'll get some training, and we'll talk about it, and we'll get some reforms going, and this and that and the other. That, things that have been talked about for many decades. And so when she spoke of the reverse of police shootings by lone African American gunmen, Hillary Clinton said, the full weight of the law will bear down on anyone who shoots a police officer. So the difference was pretty interesting. The difference in her tone and promises. If a police officer shoots an unarmed, innocent Black victim, well, he'll get some training. And if the reverse happens, if a lone African American gunman shoots a police officer, the full weight of the law will bear down. And so, again, people look at that and they say, okay, I get the understanding from Hillary Clinton that police lives matter, that all lives matter, but not necessarily that Black lives matter. That's what we understand from that. And apparently the NAACP clapped their hands and said, yay, Hillary, thank you for coming. and telling us what we need to know. Um, so these are the gatekeepers of our community. They are basically riding for Hillary Clinton, and they're pulling her around on, they're carrying her around on their backs. And even while their children of the NAACP members and the Congressional Black Caucus members, even while their children and grandchildren are being murdered, they're glorifying Hillary Clinton, who is the one who set the mechanism of these murders in place in the first place. The 1994 crime bill, Hillary Clinton bears responsibility for her participation in not only getting the 1994 crime bill passed and enacted by her husband, Bill Clinton, she also profited financially from the 1994 crime bill. Every time someone was stopped, harassed, and then kidnapped and held hostage by law enforcement and by the prison industrial complex, Hillary Clinton benefited from the ransom paid, or she received funds from the prison lobby. Every time someone went to prison, Hillary Clinton got her slice. And so this is the woman that the NAACP hosted and listened quietly while she told them all about how things were going to go, like they've been going, basically. And it's just kind of just one example of why the African Americans 45 years and younger have already made their demexit. They've left the Democrat Party because of things like this, because this celebration of Hillary Clinton, who has caused misery, suffering, and death to many African American youth. 2 generations of African American youth Hillary Clinton has been the cause of. She sent them off to wars to die. She sent them off to the military industrial complex. She's fed them into the prison industrial complex. She's helped to send their jobs away via NAFTA. And now we've got Trans-Pacific Partnership with promising more to be more of the same. We've got some no-fly zones coming in Syria, starting up some more wars, and some belligerence with Iran. So more people are going to be fed into the war machine. And then she's also got this Trans-Pacific Partnership, more jobs leaving. She's got this double talk with police violence, whereas police deaths will be prosecuted, but not deaths of innocent black victims. Will not have the law come down on them or come down on the shooters, the police that shoot them. And so more of the same is basically, it's going to be like 1992. It's going to be more like the 1994 crime bill. It's going to be 1996, Welfare Act, welfare reform, NAFTA, all that's coming back. Because along with Hillary Clinton, you get Bill Clinton running the economy again. And so this is what the NAACP is endorsing and celebrating and clapping their hands for. The younger people, the millennials, Generation X, Generation Y, they're looking at this after they've heard from Bernie Sanders about the rigged economy, the rigged justice system. They've been listening to Jill Stein, the Green Party, and they know something very wrong is happening. Very, very wrong, and that the NAACP is complicit. Also, I'm going to go on to break down what's been happening with the Freddie Gray case, because some things have been happening with that. Hillary Clinton, again, Hillary Clinton said that the full weight of the law would bear down if a police officer is shot down. If an innocent black victim is shot down by police, there'll be some training and some reforms and some talking and some communication, something. But anyway, it apparently there is a case of Freddie Gray who was murdered by police. People say, well, he died. He was actually killed by police. And so apparently there's been acquittals. Every officer who was involved in the death of Freddie Gray, they've been acquitted. The very last police officer is Lieutenant Brian Rice. He was the highest ranking officer charged in the death of Freddie Gray, which was a horrible death. And just beyond description, really. But the last police officer was acquitted of all charges. And so, again, the full weight of the law is not going to bear down, and that's going to be okay with Hillary Clinton. And I guess it's going to be okay with the NAACP. They didn't want to hear from Jill Stein. And, you know, if there's any explanation for why the NAACP turned down Jill Stein's offer to speak to them about matters of serious regard in terms of law enforcement, racial justice, or racial injustice. If there's any explanation that they have to offer, I'd sure like to hear it. You can put it in my comments or, try to explain yourselves. I don't think there's any explanation for that, but apparently you do. Anyway, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund made a statement on the acquittal of Lieutenant Brian Rice for his role of the in-custody death of Freddie Gray. And basically, it's just a lot of words. They're saying, like, wow, this judge Judge Barry Williams, he sure has some explaining to do. And scene. So that's the NAACP. I'm just going to say to Black Lives Matter, people who are concerned, 45 years and younger, people of color, black people, and then people of all races who are 45 years and younger, who view this situation for the absurdity that it is, that you do not need a gatekeeper in order to connect with Jill Stein. Apparently, environmental organizations like Sierra Club, women's organizations, union organizations, they're acting as gatekeepers, and they're kind of drifting towards Hillary Clinton from tradition or from lesser evil type of attraction. Meanwhile, Jill Stein is a near replica of Bernie Sanders' platform and his issues, and not only is she being shut out by mainstream media, but then also the gatekeepers of traditionally liberal organizations and even some progressive organizations are acting like they don't know her or pretending like they don't know her and shielding their base of supporters from her message. And so I'm just saying, you're going to have to seek her out. You don't have to wait for your parents or grandparents to say, oh, it's okay, you can listen to Jill Stein. You have to go and find her for yourself and view the Green Party's message. I'm going to leave links in the description, and just figure out for yourself what your own best interest is. You have to vote in your own best interest, not your parents' best interest, not your best friends, not your grandparents' best interest. You have to survey and look and see who has the best platform for what concerns you. I'm going to say right now that Hillary Clinton has promised more war. She has promised more people going to war in the Middle East, losing their lives. She's going to be feeding young people into the war machine over and over again. It's going to be just like it was. She said she's going to continue Barack Obama's policies, drone wars, insurgencies, anti-terrorism fighting, on and on, forever and ever, amen. That's what Hillary Clinton said. She's going to bring the Trans-Pacific Partnership if she can. So basically, those of you who are familiar with NAFTA, this is NAFTA times 100. So job loss, anti-environmental policies, no regulation of business practices. This is what's going to happen. This is what Hillary Clinton brings. She was the author and creator of our system of mass incarceration, our prison industrial complex. We've seen her speak to the NAACP saying, well, it's going to be like it was. There's going to be prosecutions for police deaths and for black victims. well, I'll come and talk to you, and that's what's going to happen, like she's doing now. So this is what you get with Hillary Clinton. If you go to www.gp.org, you'll see something different with Jill Stein. The Green Party has opened its doors to Black Lives Matter, to environmental activists, to social justice activists, Latinos, people of color, people who want to organize around work-related issues, labor issues, people who are anti-Trans-Pacific Partnership, people who want to fight for against climate change and to save our planet, people who are anti-war or anti-rampant military interventionists, people who want actual peace in the Middle East and not just talk surrounding that. They actually want the fighting to stop. That's the Green Party. It's not the Democratic Party. You've seen what the Democratic Party is with Barack Obama. It's going to be more and maybe worse with Hillary Clinton. So if you want more of the same, then of course Hillary Clinton is who you vote for. If you want something different, Jill Stein is offering a Bernie Sanders type platform with some new things on it, some common sense things that make sense. And for Jill Stein, you're just going to have to go around these gatekeepers, the older generation who have ascended to power and refuse to release it. They want to be the authority over certain groups, and they expect you to go through them in order to talk. You're going to have to go around them. I know the internet has been a really great tool, and so people are finding Jill Stein via the internet. But as for the real world, there are certain people who like to be the one, the guard dog that you have to go through in order to get to the people in the house. But, I think Jill Stein knows that. She's spoken to Black Lives Matter activists. She's attended their marches and protests. And I think she knows. But basically, what you see before you with the NAACP, that's just generally how it's going to be all the way up until November. If you want to reach the younger generation, the generation that's not tied to political positions and proximity to power and what power can do for them, they haven't been corrupted yet. You'll probably find quite a few of them on college campuses if you want to conduct like college tours starting in August and September. That might be one gateway into reaching millennials, the younger generation, Gen Y, on college campuses. So that's what I recommend. But anyway, I would say back to the NAACP, this is just a ridiculous situation that you've involved yourselves in. And the more you do it, the more people lose respect for you because you just look basic, look real simple when you do things like that. And I hope you review your policies of allowing presidential candidates to speak. There's at least 4, not just 2, certainly not just 1. Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton. And if you want to be respected, act respectable.